Good morning. Today we are at a house in Cottesloe that we've designed. This is a very traditional style home, and we're not doing it to passive house standards, but we do have air tightness and we do have heat recovery ventilation. So I want to show you a few of the things that go into building to this slightly reduced high performance version of a home. But as usual for Lean House, this home is primarily timber framed. We've approached things a little bit differently this time in that we've removed the inside layered air tightness and we're relying on the external membrane only to provide the air tightness and the weather tightness for the home. And as usual, we have a thicker timber stud, and that's going to be packed with insulation. My preference is always to build a full timber home without any steel whatsoever, and there's multiple reasons for this in terms of saving carbon and simplicity in the construction, but also primarily to make the home more energy efficient. Sometimes when a home has a big span internally, like this space with big open spaces, we do need to introduce steel to support the roof floor above. But it's entirely inside the thermal envelope of the building, so it's not going to be an issue with thermal bridging. The subfloor on a house like this, we typically use an open web joist, and that's great because we can actually run all the heat recovery ventilation pipes and plumbing and electrical wiring through that cavity. Eventually this void will be filled up with insulation, and that'll help with acoustic sound transfer from the first floor to the ground floor. This home is designed for a couple who's looking to age in place. And so this home is unique in that we have provision for a lift here. And so even though it's a timber house, we've still been able to allow for a hydraulic lift. And it's got a steel ladder frame in the lift shaft, and that's just lined with OSB to give it structural stiffness. So once the house has been completely wrapped, then the guys can get busy putting all the ductwork in for the heat recovery ventilation system. As you can see here, it's all in place. They've started running it throughout the house. Above me is the exhaust duct for the kitchen. In the laundry, there's also another exhaust duct, and there's supply air to all the main living spaces. And you can see the pipes all irrigated all throughout the house. A key feature of this house is that it's set up for dual occupancy, so the owners can potentially live downstairs and they can have an adult child or a carer live upstairs. And because we've got a main living space up here, we wanted to create a large balcony that can be a useful outdoor space for the apartment here. Because we've got that dual occupancy arrangement in the house, it's really important to minimise the sound transfer from the first floor to the ground floor. And the owner really wanted to provide timber flooring upstairs, and that exacerbates the issue. So one way we've tried to get around that with a suspended timber floor is by introducing an aeroclave concrete floor panel. And as you can see here, we've got 75 millimetre Hebel flooring, and that provides a really solid structure underfoot, and that should help to minimise the noise transfer between the floors. Yeah, so like I said, this house is not to strict passive house standards. The client wanted a really stable temperature internally, and the best way we can provide that is with full ducted air conditioning, where we believe the air conditioning won't be required that much. It's a smaller system than normal, but we've also thought about that in the design of the roof. So in a typical home, the air conditioning ducts would be an uninsulated roof cavity. But what we've done is we've actually pushed the insulation up to the rafters zone, and all the air conditioning ducts are going to be within the insulated, conditioned part of the house, and that will have a dramatic impact on the efficiency of the air conditioning. Following on about the flexible design of this house, this whole upper floor footprint can actually be further subdivided. So you can have a 1-bedroom self-contained apartment, and you can have 2 bedrooms that are connected to the downstairs living. So in effect, you can have self-contained 1-bedroom apartment and a 3-bed, 2-bath home, or you could have a 1-bed, 1-bath home downstairs, and you can have a 3-bed, 2-bath apartment upstairs. Now, in order to subdivide the 1-bedroom apartment from these other extra bedrooms, we've provided for an operable acoustic wall along this hallway here. and we've got these like heavy structural LVL beams in place, ready to take the door track for that heavy door.